A is pronounced as ah. It's just like A in father. It's like saying ah when you go to see a dentist with your mouth wide open. Ah, ah. AI in Pinyin sounds just like the English word I or buy. Repeat after me. I. An is a very unique Chinese sound, and it doesn't really have an exact English equivalent. The closest sound to English would be un as in sun, but you want to open your mouth wider and say an. Good. Ang sounds like aun in the English word aunt, but you want to open your mouth wider and say ang. Or you can think of ang as ahng, but just make sure you don't overpronounce the g at the end or the g at the end. Just say ang, not ang, but ang. Good. Ow in Pinyin sounds like ow as in how or ou as in ouch. Repeat after me. Ow. Good. The English letter E is pronounced as There are different ways of thinking about it. First, you can think of it as the E as in serve, but with a British accent without too much of the R sound. Okay, serve, alright? Or you can think of it as the UH as in but make sure you stick your lower jaw out a little bit more, okay? And pout a little bit. Instead of saying see my mouth shape? Or you can just think of it as like a schwa if you know what that means. Pretty much it's a lower, it's like upside down E. Alright? A in Pinyin sounds just like EI as in 8. A. 非常好。N sounds just like the N as in the word taken. N. 非常好。ENG is pronounced as You can think of it as ERNG without too much of the R sound. Or you can think of it as the UNG as in lung, but just make sure that you stick your lower jaw out a little bit more, okay? Say hao. ERR sounds just like the American way of saying ARER, but stronger and more dramatic. R. For example, it sounds like a pirate saying R. In Pinyin, we call these syllables the special 7 because the I in these syllables is just a filler. It's a silent I. The reason it has to be there because it has to have some sort of vowel or final in the syllable, but it wouldn't affect the pronunciation at all. You might as well just replace I with all the dollar sign. It just doesn't matter. So the key to pronouncing these syllables correctly is to focus your attention on the initials, which is the letter that comes before I. Don't worry, I will explain in detail for each of these 7 syllables in its own cell. The English letter I is pronounced as E. It sounds just like the English letter E as in me. Make sure your lips are widespread. E. Also, please don't confuse this with the final I that's only used as a filler in the first row of the chart. IA in Pinyin is pronounced as ya. It sounds just like YA in see ya. IAN in Pinyin is pronounced as yen. Although its spelling is IAN, it actually sounds like IEN as in Japanese yen. Repeat after me. Yen. 很好。IANG is pronounced as yang. It's just the combination of these two sounds, yi and ang. ANG, we already learned that, and it sounds just like AUN as in aunt. Make sure your lips are widespread. Ang, yi, ang, young. Okay, let's say it again. Young, young, young. All right. IAO in Pinyin is pronounced as yao, yao. It sounds like EOW as in meow, okay? Meow or yao. Repeat after me. Yao, yao. 非常好。IE in Pinyin is pronounced as ye, ye, like YE in yes, ye. And remember, IE, here the E is not pronounced as its original sound. When E is following another vowel sound, E is actually pronounced as as in bed, okay? So together, ye, ye, ye. Repeat after me again. Ye, ye. 非常好。IN in Pinyin is pronounced as in, in. It sounds just like EAN as in bean. All right, repeat after me. Yin, yin. Good. ING in Pinyin is pronounced as ying, ying. It sounds like ING in ring, but make sure you don't overpronounce the NG part at the end. Also, please be aware that people from the northern part of China may pronounce ING in a very nasal way. For example, they might say it as yung, yung. To your ears, they might sound very different, ying or ying, but to us, they're pretty much the same. So don't be surprised when you hear both, and they're both fine, all right? IONG is pronounced as yong, yong. It sounds just like the combination of E and ong, but make sure your ending mouth shape is longer and rounder. Yong, yong, ong, yong. Alright? I explained in detail how ONG should be pronounced in its own section, so you can check that out. Repeat after me again. Yong, yong, yong. Good. Whenever you see the pinyin IU, you should automatically know that it's abbreviated for IOU. And the pronunciation of IU is yo. Sounds like yo-yo Chinese, right? Yo, yo, yo. But remember, IU is short for IOU. Don't forget that. Yo. Good. The English letter O in Pinyin is pronounced as wa, wa. It sounds like O in oil, but you need to add a w at the very beginning, so it becomes wa, wa. And also you need to remember, you can only see this final after B, P, M, and F, and these are pronounced as bo, po, mo, fo. Okay, let's do this again. Wa, wa. Good. ONG is pronounced as on, on. It's a sound in between OWN, on, and ONG as in long, on, okay? It's in between that, but closer to OWN. So if you want a shortcut, you can just think of ONG as OWN, and that's fine. But make sure your mouth shape is a little bit rounder and longer when you pronounce ONG. On, 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 and watch my mouth shape. On, on, on. You see, this is the longest and this is the smallest, okay? On, this is right in the middle, but closer to OWN. On, 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 okay? ONG is pronounced as on, on. It's a sound in between OWN, on, and ONG as in long, on, okay? It's in between that, but closer to OWN. So if you want a shortcut, you can just think of ONG as OWN, and that's fine. But make sure your mouth shape is a little bit rounder and longer when you pronounce ONG. On, 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 and watch my mouth shape. On, on, on. You see, this is the longest and this is the smallest, okay? On, this is right in the middle, but closer to OWN. On, 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 okay? OU is pronounced as O, like OA in boat, or OW in show. And don't confuse this final with UO, which looks very similar. This is pronounced as W, and this is pronounced as O, okay? O, W, O, W, O, O, okay? U is pronounced as oo, oo. It sounds like double O in shoot, and it's like the sound an owl makes. Oo, oo, oo. But remember, when you make the Chinese oo sound, you have to make sure that your lips are lifted as if you are pouting. Oo, oo, oo. Let's do this. You can put a pen on your top of your lip and make sure it doesn't fall. Oo, oo. All right? Ooh, I succeeded. All right? That's how you pronounce ooh in Chinese. Ooh. UA is pronounced as wa. It sounds like UA as in suave or WAH. Wa. Wa. UAI is pronounced as Y. It sounds just like the English word why. Why? Why? UAN is pronounced as one. One. It sounds like UAN as in the Spanish name Juan. All right, repeat after me. One. One. UANG is pronounced as Wang. Wang. It sounds very similar to the Chinese surname Wang, but make sure you open your mouth wider and say Wang. Wang. Also, please don't overpronounce the G at the end. Repeat after me again. Wang. Wang. 非常好。UENG is pronounced as Weng. Weng. It's pretty much the combination of U and Ng. If you're not familiar with these sounds, you can check them out separately. Alright, repeat after me. Weng. By the way, Weng is not a very common sound. UI is pronounced as Wei. Wei. And you should know that UI is actually short for UEI, and that's why UI is not pronounced as we, but instead it's pronounced as U plus A, way, way, and it sounds just like the English word way. Repeat after me. Way, way. 非常好。UN is pronounced as one, one. It's actually short for U-E-N. You have to remember that, okay? It's U plus N, N as in taken, all right? Let's say it again, all right? When, 很好。UO is pronounced as wa, wa. It sounds like WO in walk or O in oil, but make sure there's a strong U sound at the front, okay? Wa, wa. Also, please don't mistake UO with OU. OU is pronounced as O, and UO is pronounced as W, right? Also, when UO follows Bo, Po, Mo, Fo, these four initials, you should know that U is dropped, so the spelling becomes B-O-P-O-M-O and F-O. When you see these four pinyin, you should automatically know that you should put an U in the middle. So if they're pronounced as Bo, Po, Mo, Fo, get it? All right. This final is pronounced as Yu. Even though this sound doesn't exist in English, you can pronounce it well. Let me show you how. First, you say E, okay? E. Then start rounding your lips until your lips are in a position to make the oo sound, okay? Let's do this. E, U, U. There you go, you just made the U sound. So what you did was that you need to keep this tongue position to make the E sound. Okay, stay here. E, and then start rounding your lips, and eventually your mouth shape looks like a oo. Now what I need you to do is to watch my mouth shape, okay? Ooh, oo, ooh, oo, ooh, oo, oo, oo. Well, did my mouth shape change at all? Ooh, oo. No, the answer is no. It didn't change. So what changed? Well, what changed is what's going on behind my mouth. It's something that you cannot see. It's my tongue position. So when I make the wu sound, my tongue is curled at the back like a ball, okay? Wu, wu. But when I make the yu sound, my tongue is all the way at the front, like I'm making the e sound. I'm trying to squeeze the e sound out. Yu, yu, wu, wu, yu. You see what I'm saying? So the difference between wu and yu is not really the mouth shape. They're the same. Wu. What's different is the tongue position. Wu, yu. All right? It's wu, yu. Cool. I hope you get it now. This final is pronounced as yuan, yuan. It's pretty much the combination of yu plus e, like yi in bed, and n. Together it's yuan, yuan, yuan. All right, yuan. Make sure you notice that a here is not pronounced as it's not yuan. That's wrong. The correct one is yuan. A here is pronounced like bed, yuan. Alright? That's why we say it's so important for you to treat each final as a unique and separate sound. Let's do this again. Yuan, yuan, yuan. Alright? Good. This final is pronounced as yue, yue. It's the combination of yu plus e, like yi in bed. Remember, when e is following another vowel, e is pronounced as e instead of its original sound, okay? It's e here. So it's yue, yue, yue. Again, yue. Good. This is pronounced as yun, yun. As long as you can pronounce yu correctly, you just need to add the n at the end, okay? Now say yun, yun, yun. One syllable. Yun, yun. Good. C in Pinyin is pronounced as ts, ts. It sounds like ts as in it's. Repeat it after me. Ts, ts. 非常好. CH in Pinyin is pronounced as ch, ch. It sounds just like CH in church. Now repeat after me. Ch, ch. All right. H in Pinyin is pronounced as h. It sounds just like the H in the word hand, but with a strong friction, as if we were gurgling. All right, so the example will be to drink. H, h. You see, we really emphasize on the H part. H. All right, let's say it again. J in Pinyin is pronounced as J, J. It sounds very similar to the J in the word Jeep, but the difference is when you pronounce J in Jeep, J, your lips are rounded. But when you pronounce J, your lips are spread wide. J, J. All right? And also, J, J, sounds very similar to the Chinese initial ZH. J, 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 J. All right, let's do it again. J, J, J. If you can't really pronounce the G sound, you can simply replace it with the J sound as in Jeep, okay? J, J. Cool. Q in Pinyin is pronounced as ch, ch. It sounds very similar to the CH in cheese, but the difference is that when you say ch, your lips are rounded. Ch. But when you say ch, your lips are widespread. Ch, ch. Repeat after me. Ch, ch. Good. The English letter R in Pinyin is pronounced as zh, zh. This initial confuses lots of English speakers because you may hear different Chinese people pronounce it completely differently. Today, I'm going to sort it out for you. The English letter R, zh, is a very, very French sound. It sounds like the J in the French name Jacques, or S in Asia, or S in measure. All right? Repeat after me. Zh, zh. Well, I hope now you have a pretty good idea how Z is pronounced in standard Chinese, but don't be surprised when you hear a little bit of variation, alright? SH in Pinyin is pronounced as sh, sh. It sounds just like SH in sheep, sh, sh. 好的。X in Pinyin is pronounced as sh, sh. It's sort of in between the English sounds S and SH sh, but closer to SH sh, alright? The key to saying sh correctly is to make sure the middle part of your tongue is pressed up against the roof of your mouth. Now do it. And now make sure your lips are widespread. And say it. Sh, sh. Get it? Sh, sh. Okay, now do it again. Sh, sh. Good. Z in Pinyin is pronounced as z, z. It sounds very similar to the DS as in kids. Z, z. 非常好。ZH in Pinyin is pronounced as j, j. It sounds like J in judge or GE in George. Repeat after me. J, j, j. Good. BO is bo, bo. Make sure you add a wu sound in the middle, okay? Bo, because O is actually UO, all right? Bo, it sounds like bo in boil, all right? Bo, bo. CHI is ch, ch. When you see a pinyin with the final I, ask yourself, is this one of the special 7? Well, it is, right? So that means the I here is just a filler. It's a silent I. You might as well just replace the I with a $sign, and it wouldn't affect the pronunciation. So CH here is just ch, as in church, ch, ch. Now, let's voice it so we can get the whole CHI sound. Voice it, which is church, ch, ch. Feel the vibration through your vocal cords, okay? Ch, ch, ch. It almost sounds like there's an R at the very end, like chir in chirp, right? Chir, chir, chir. One more time. Chir. Good. FO is for, for. Remember, O is UO, war. Together it's for, for, for. 非常好。JU is ju, ju. If you're familiar with the pinyin spelling rule, you should know that when J is followed by U, its spelling is JU. And vice versa, when you see JU, you should know that this U is not U. This U is actually U, okay? So when you see JU, this is what you should think of. It's actually J plus U. Ju, Ji, U, Ju, Ju. One more time. Ju. 非常好。Juan is not the Spanish name Juan. It's Juan. Juan. And remember, actually, according to the pinyin spelling rule, Ju is J plus U, and this is Yuan. Yuan. Make sure you check out the detailed explanation of Yuan, okay? Ji, Yuan, Juan. And this A is not on, okay? It's A. Juan, Juan. It's very small. Juan, Juan. Again, Juan. 很好。JUE is jue, jue. According to the pinyin spelling rule, you should know that JU is actually J plus U, because when J is followed by U, you should know this is not pronounced as U, but instead it's a U sound, okay? So this is JU plus E, jue, jue, ji, yue, jue, jue, jue. 很好。JUN is Jun, Jun. Jun. The most important thing here is to know that U here is actually U. So together you need to pronounce the G plus Yun, okay? Yun, G, Yun, Jun, 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 Jun. MO here is more, more. Remember, O is UO, which is wo. So together it's more, more. 非常好。PO is po, po. Remember, O here is actually UO, wo, wo. So together is po, po. 非常好。QUAN is not quan, okay? It's chuan, chuan. According to the Pinyin spelling rule, you should know that QUAN is actually Q plus U plus AN. And UAN is yuan, yuan. And A here is yuan. And together it's ch, yuan, chuan, chuan. Again, chuan, chuan. QUE is chue, chue. According to the Pinyin spelling rule, you should know that QU is actually Q plus U here. So it's Q plus yue. Together it's ch, yue, chue, 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 chue. QUN is chun, chun. Even though the spelling is QUN, you should know that this U is actually U, not U, okay? So together it's chun. This is yun and plus ch at the beginning. That's ch, yun, ch, chun, chun, chun. One more time, chun. REN is a tricky sound. Lots of students find it very difficult because you guys hear different people say it differently. And today I'm going to sort it out for you. REN is pronounced as zhen, zhen, with R being zh, like J in the French name Jacques, or S in Asia, or S in measure, zh, zh, plus N as in taken, alright? So zh, N, zhen, zhen, and together you get zhen, zhen, zhen. And that's the standard pronunciation of zhen. Even though you hear different people from different regions of China might pronounce this differently, this is the standard pronunciation. All right? Repeat after me. Zhen, zhen. And when you say human or person or people, that's zhen with a second tone. Zhen. All right? Zhen, zhen. RI is zh. Zh. RI, zh is one of the special 7, which means the I here is just a silent I. It's just a filler. You might as well just replace I with a dollar sign. And now you can truly focus your attention on the initial, which is the R here, which is zh, zh. All right. Do you remember that zh or R sounds like J as in the French name Jacques, or as in Asia, or as in measure, right? Zh, zh. It's a very French sound, all right? Now, let's say the RI together, which is that you need to voice it, and you need to feel the vibration through your vocal cords. Let's do this. Zh, 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 zh. Now you're saying RI. Zh, zh, zh. 非常好。SHI is sh, sh. It's one of the special 7, which means the I here is just a silent I. It's just a filler. You might as well just replace I with a dollar sign and you'll be fine. Now say shh, shush someone, shh, shh. And now voice it and then you'll get SHI. Voice it, sh, sh, sh. There you go. You're saying SHI. Sh, sh, sh. Good. SI is s, s. Whenever you see a pinyin with the final I, you need to ask yourself, is this one of the special 7? If it is, you should know that I here is a filler. It's a silent I. So you might as well just replace I with a $sign, and it wouldn't affect the pronunciation at all. Alright, S is pretty easy to pronounce. It's just s, right? And when you pronounce the SI, you need to start voicing it, which means you need to feel the vibration through your vocal cords. Now let's say s, and then start voicing it. S, s, s. There you go. You just pronounce the SI. S. Do it again. S, s, s. Good. WA is wa. Wa is the same as UA. Wa. Okay, when UA stands alone, the spelling is WA. 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 WAI is Y. Y. It's the same as UAI, but when UAI stands alone, the spelling is WAI. Y. Y. WAN is one. One. It's the same as UAN, but when UAN stands alone, the spelling is WAN. One. Wu plus un. One. 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 WANG is wang. Wang. Make sure you open your mouth wide and say wang. Okay, it's the same as UANG, but when UANG, wang, stands alone, the spelling is WANG, wang. And make sure you don't pronounce WANG as wang. No. It's wang. Open your mouth wide and say wang. Good. Wang. WEN is pronounced as wen. Wen. It's the same as UEN or UN. When UEN is used as a final, it's usually shortened to UN. Both of them are pronounced as wen. Wen. For detailed explanation of UN or UEN, please check out the UN section of the Pinyin chart. And now you should know why WEN, wen, rhymes with these syllables. Dun, tun, lun. Even though they have different finals, they rhyme. Now you know why, okay? Repeat after me. Wen, wen, wen. 非常好。WENG is pronounced as weng. Weng. It's the same as UENG, but when UENG stands alone, the spelling is WENG, weng. And this is not a very common sound. WO is pronounced as wa. Wa. It's the same as UO, wa, or O. Remember, O is just like O in oil. Wa, okay? Wa. Repeat after me. Wa. Now you should know why WO rhymes with these syllables. Lo, guo, tuo. Even though they have different finals, they rhyme. Now you know why. Repeat after me. Wa. 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 Good. WU is woo. Woo. Make sure you pout when you say woo, okay? And it's the same as the U or woo, okay? But when U stands alone, or woo stands alone, you have to add a W at front as its spelling. All right. Woo. Woo. All right. XUAN is xuan. Xuan. And this is actually XUAN, and UAN is yuan, and X is sh. Together it's xuan. Xuan. Again. Xuan. Xuan. 好。XUE is xue. Xue. According to the Pinyin spelling rule, XU is actually X plus U. This is not U, okay? This is actually U. And together it's X plus yue. Yue. Xue. 削削 One more time. 削很好 Xun is 熏 熏 And make sure you know that U here is U, not U, okay? So this is 晕 and plus 晕 熏熏熏熏 Okay? 熏 This is ya. It's the same as ia, ya. But when ia stands on its own, it's spelled as ya, ya. Yan is pronounced as yen. It's the same as ian. But make sure that you know that an is actually here is more like a en. So yan is more like yen, like the Japanese yen. Repeat after me. Yen. Yen. 非常好 Yang is pronounced as yang. Yang is the same as iang, but when it stands alone, the spelling is yang. And this is my name, and make sure you don't call me Yang Yang, okay? Call me Yang Yang. It's the yang sound, yang, alright? Yang. Yang. Good. This is yao. Yao. It's the same as IAO, but when IAO stands alone, the spelling is YAO. Repeat after me. Yao. Yao. 非常好 YE is ye. Ye. It's the same as IE, but when IE stands alone, the spelling is YE. And it's very simple. It's just like YE in yes. Ye. Ye. Good. Yin is yin. Yin is the same as in, but when in stands alone, the spelling is yin, alright? Yin. Yin. This is yin. Yin. It's the same as ing, but when ing stands alone, the spelling is yin. Yin. And sometimes you'll hear people from the northern part of China pronounce yin as yin with a more nasal sound. Either one is correct, okay? Yin or yung, both are correct. This is yong. Yong. It's the same as iong, but when iong stands alone, the spelling is yong. 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 Good. You is pronounced as yo. Yo. It sounds just like yo in yo-yo Chinese. Yo. And it's the same as iou. But when iou is used as a final, it's usually shortened to iu. Iou, they're both pronounced as yo, the same as you. Yo. Now you should know why you. Yo rhymes with these syllables. Liu, niu, qiu. They all have the yo at the final, right? You. So even though they have different finals, they rhyme. Now you know why. Now repeat after me again. Yo. Yo. Yo Chinese. Yo. You is yu. Yu. It's the same as the final yu. It's basically just the e tongue position with the u mouth shape. Yu. 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 For more detailed explanation of the final yu, please check out yu section of the pinyin chart. Repeat after me one more time. Yu. Good. Yuan is yuan. Yuan is the same as yuan, the final yuan, but make sure you know that a here sounds more like eh, like e in bed. Yuan. Yuan. All right, let's do it again. Yuan. For detailed explanation of yuan as a final, please check out the yuan part of the pinyin chart. Yue is yue. Yue. It's the same as the final yue, but make sure you know that e here is pronounced as like e in bed. Yue. Yue. For more detailed explanation of 约, please check out the 约 part of the pinyin chart. 约 yun is 晕 yun. It's the same as the final 晕. Just make sure you know how to pronounce this, okay? 晕. For a detailed explanation of this final, please check out the yun part of the pinyin chart. 晕 yun. Good. Zi is pronounced as z, z. Whenever you see a pinyin with a final I, you should ask yourself, is this one of the special 7? If it is, you should know that I here is just a filler. It's actually a silent I. So what that means is, you might as well just replace I with a $sign and it wouldn't affect the pronunciation at all. Now you need to focus just on Z, which is what comes before I, the initial. Z is actually DS, as in kids, z, z. Now you need to voice it, okay? So what you do is put your hand on your throat and start feeling the vibration going through your vocal cords, okay? Z, z, kids, z, 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 z. There you go. Now you're pronouncing Z-I. Z, z, z. 非常好。